Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to joining us today. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all. This session is proudly hosted by Prime Talent. For those who may be new to us, Prime Talent is a London-based organization with nearly a decade of experience in bridging the tech skills gap. We empower individuals through tech and non-tech programs tailored to evolving tech and other industries. Our industry backed courses like cloud computing, program management, and green skills, etc., create a diverse, future ready talent pipelines that support businesses, its growth, while enabling meaningful career progression. In collaboration with the York and North Yorkshire Combined Authority, we are delivering high impact courses in software development, cybersecurity, and cloud computing, empowering learners with cutting edge skills to thrive in today's digital economy. My name is Ekta Gupta. I am a behavioral skills trainer at Prime Talent and today's host. Over the years, Prime Talent has hosted a series of impactful webinars aimed at delivering practical insights on career development and industry trends. Today, we are delighted to continue this journey with a thought provoking session that is creating pathways how boot camps help individuals and businesses grow. Today, we will be focusing on several crucial themes, including the role of skills bootcamps in driving workforce and economic transformation in York and North Yorkshire, building a dynamic pool of self employed professionals and reshaping the regional tech ecosystem, supporting career changes, returners, and underrepresented groups in accessing high growth digital roles, alongside other significant points. Before we dive deeper into today's discussion, I'm delighted to introduce two distinguished speakers to bring wealth of experience and insights. First, we are privileged to welcome Shaun Withers. Shaun is a skills specialist at York and North Yorkshire Combined Authority, where he leads strategic initiatives to strengthen region's technical talent pipeline. He oversees a portfolio of skills bootcamps delivered by top tier providers, ensuring alignment with employer needs and regional growth priorities. Shaun's work directly supports YNYCA's mission to drive innovation, close skills gaps, and expand inclusive career pathways across tech and other high demand sectors. Hi, Shaun. We welcome you warmly.
Innovation. We really want to, through the Skills Bootcamp model, foster in-house innovation through upskilling of existing employees in our local companies. We can move on to the third objective. This is a biggie. We want to empower the tech freelance economy. We have an awful lot of self-employed people in York and North Yorkshire, but the issue is many of them are in, how can I put it? They're providing good services, good products, but we've too few that are delivering the technology services and products that we want to see in our local economy. And so cloud computing, cybersecurity, and software development, these are all areas that will drive a more dynamic and digitally savvy freelance ecosystem across our region. But we cannot rely just on existing employers and businesses. So we want to increase the pipeline of freelancers because we believe that will make an amazing contribution to driving forward the economy. So fast track digital skills acquisition, powering business innovation, empowering the tech freelance economy. And our final strategic objective, we have many, but the final one I want to focus on concerning this particular skills bootcamp activity is enabling career pivots into high growth tech. Now we seem to have lost the screen. Can you see the screen? Can you see the presentation? Yeah, I can see it now. So the fourth strategic objective, which seems to be missing, enabling career pivots into high growth tech. What do I mean by that? We have, as I alluded to earlier, a significant number of highly qualified people who are underused in the local economy. So I'm going to give quite a crude but common example. We have very highly qualified people working in the care industry or in leisure and tourism. These are valuable industries, but basically, many of them really are looking for something that's going to give them more money, basically, and better prospects career-wise. And so they're looking at these skills boot camps to, as long as they've got the basic skills, and of course, Prime Talent will be has a very sort of thorough screening process. If they've got the basic skills and the right attitudes, through a skills boot camps, they'll be able to pivot their career and basically catapult themselves into high growth tech areas. So those are your 4 strategic objectives: fast track digital skills acquisition, powering business innovation, powering the tech economy, and enabling career pivots. I don't think there's anything surprising there. But when we look back at previous skills boot camps that we've delivered, these strategic objectives where we've kept focused on these have served us well. Now, I want to move on in conclusion to 3, if you like, expected impacts that we're looking at as a result of these skills boot camps. The first is next level tech talent. We want to see over the next 18 months a surge in highly skilled professionals in advanced and digital technologies, resulting in higher earnings potential and increased productivity across the tech ecosystem. Our contract with Prime Talent currently is to support 80 learners through these skills boot camps, which doesn't seem a lot, but it's a significant contribution, or could potentially be a significant contribution to increasing the talent pipeline in tech across our area. So we're very much looking forward to the progression once they've completed the skills boot camps, where these individuals will progress to, either through self-employment route, or if they're employer referred by being upskilled and getting more responsibility at work, and helping the company gain new business, or if they're self-referrals pivoting into a new career, albeit at entry or intermediate level, that will match their skill set, their ambitions, and their potential. The third thing the second impact we're expecting is around an acceleration in startup businesses and scaling up across the business community. We will never be a London, we will never be a Leeds, but we do have an emerging tech hub. We do have activity around Harrogate and in York in particular, and in other areas of York and North Yorkshire. So what we see through these skills boot camps is them contributing to supporting that evolution into us becoming a thriving regional tech hub, albeit not on the scale of a Leeds or a London at all, but one that is that we can be proud of. And the third impact we're looking to achieve and celebrate is around a new wave of digital entrepreneurs. As I've alluded to earlier, we have a lot of self-employed in the region, but what we want to do is boost the supply of knowledge-driven tech-first entrepreneurs and service providers, who in turn will begin to reshape the future of our digital economy. So just to recap, those are the expected impacts: new tech talent coming on board, an acceleration in startup and scale-up companies, and a new wave of digital entrepreneurs contributing to the growth of the York and North Yorkshire economy. Okay, that was a whirlwind tour. There will be no surprises in any of this. So I've gone through our main strategic objectives. I've touched on the sort of impact we're expecting from this skills bootcamp with Prime Talent. This isn't a sales pitch for Prime Talent. They will tell you themselves. We are very strict and robust in our monitoring of their contract. They already have a contract with us under wave 5 of skills bootcamps, and that is delivering some tangible benefits in terms of boosting York and North Yorkshire's profile as a technical hub, if you like. And so we're looking forward to working with you in Wave 6. The organisation has just started delivery, a lot of interest from a lot of individuals, and we're looking forward to some, how can I put it, outstanding results. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to hand back to you, Hector, now, and for your next speaker. And I think we'll take questions if there are any at the end, yeah?
Thank you, Shaun. That was a compelling overview. It's clear that Combined Authority's investment in skills and boot camps is both strategic and deeply rooted in regional priorities. However, I have observed the whole thing, and I'm coming up just with one question of mine, that you have also spoken about empowering business innovations. How do you see employers practically benefiting from having a digitally upskilled workforce?
Right. Well, how do I see them benefiting? Well, if we're assuming these are employers who have want to upskill their own employees, I mean, it's simple. I mean, what you've got to do, we're living, the world of high tech in some senses is, I'm going to say, anarchical, disruptive, chaotic. There's changes coming all the time, and your basic education system is struggling to keep up. So what we're looking for with skills bootcamps is to inspire individuals within the companies and to inspire the companies that are referring them, or the companies that are employing them, to say, look, this individual is brimming with ideas, they're brimming with enthusiasm. How can we, and when I say we, it would be you as the provider, how can we work with you to unleash that talent to help your business thrive, to help your business innovate? So this is beyond, if you like, training someone in a skills bootcamp. This is now moving into the territory of implementing those skills in a way that will transform the business. That's the most I can say. It's a huge challenge. So skills bootcamps, in a sense, are about educating employers, not just the individuals that they're training. I could go on, Hector, but I'd get into the realm of waffling, and I'm not going to do that.
No, thank you. Actually, that paints a vivid picture of how digital upskilling isn't just a workforce issue, it's a catalyst for innovation.
Yeah.
Thank you for your insights, Shaun. And now we are also joined by Michael Devine, who is Program Manager and Senior Technical Consultant at Prime Talent, with 25 plus years in the software industry and over 15 years mentoring developers. He designs and delivers high impact bootcamps focused on enterprise infrastructure and full stack development. With deep technical expertise and a sharp eye for curriculum and training development, Michael builds scalable learning solutions that elevate global tech. Hi, Michael. We warmly welcome you.
Thank you, Ekta. That was a lovely introduction. So, welcome all. I would like to just make you aware of the kind of boot camps that we provide. We have boot camps on cloud awareness, cloud infrastructure, primarily focusing on AWS. Then we have software development boot camps, which enable learners to progress and to be able to build applications. Um, uh, when you look at something like this, software development and applications have to be hosted on infrastructure. So the cloud becomes all the more important now. And when we talk about cloud and infrastructure, it's very important security, to have a very good understanding of cybersecurity. And when you put them all together, you have a complete picture of something that would add value to somebody's skill set, add value to somebody's awareness of technology. And this could be implemented in an entrepreneurial sense. It could be implemented in a freelance consulting and service provision sense. It could also be a lot of value to a profile for somebody who's looking for jobs. It expands the spectrum of availability, job availability in the market. So these are some of the primary things that we bring to Yorkshire Combined. We also do for green skills, for example, sustainability in the workplace, which is such a high value add. And then we do boot camps on data analytics. Again, once again, very important for decision making. We have boot camps on AI and ML, that's artificial intelligence, machine learning, something that is very relevant today, and which again brings value to your data, brings value to to the services you offer, brings value to your clients. We have IT support, we have project management, we have quite a basket of offerings there. And yeah, so if you have any questions for me, Ekta, that would be a better way in which I could probably bring some more to the table here.
Be ready, Michael. I have a number of them.
Oh,
All right. So, starting with Michael, thank you for the description. That sounded quite fascinating. Could you walk us through what the learner journey looks like from application to graduation?
yes, definitely. So, a learner's journey first starts with interest from the learner, and we scope out the learners who are really interested. There's and the typical application followed by assessment and a mobilization interview to be able to discuss expectations, align expectations and readiness with the learner, to feel their pulse, to have an idea of where they're coming from and how we could help them in this whichever but particular bootcamp that we are talking about. So once that is done and the learner is quite aligned to what we are offering, we pull them into the cohort, we pull them into a batch, and then we proceed with structural training there. This structural training blends technical, professional skills, employability readiness, certain value-added skills, especially when you're looking at the technical domain. You have the core technical skills, and then you have the ancillary skills. The learners are, incorporated into a whole spectrum of learning here. And it does not matter sometimes if the learner is non-technical, and if the learner has a deep desire to move into a technical domain. We do orient the learners technically. We give them an extra, additional hours, additional mentorship or guidance as they require to become comfortable with tech, especially in the first few days of the training when it starts. So a journey would eventually involve the prelims, which is basically uh, assessment and application assessment and interviews, discussions to get aligned. Then there would be the structured training that would go according to the boot camp, whether it's a 5 week or a 6 week or a 12 week. And during the training, there's so much to be so much to be learned, so much to become aware of. The training is very structured. It's organized to allow everybody to participate. It's very participative. It's very active. Okay, it's iterative. Learners use instructor guided learning material. So there are instructors. There are multiple instructors for different kinds of skills. The learners get to be involved with each other. There's a lot of learning engagement, hands-on practice. So ultimately, there's a graduation, and there is a certification also. So when we talk about these domains, the graduation happens from whatever is being learned. There are assessments and assignments that are progressively being taken care of. Ultimately, there is a certification exam. It's an industry certification or industry recognized competency certification, and the learners are ready to face the market, the job market, and the prospects of getting good employment, or the prospects of transcending into a freelance consultant, offering value added services in the tech domain, or even applying the skills they have learned in their own businesses, or equivalent businesses. So somebody with an idea of building up or scaling up their own businesses, in a variety of ways, whether it is digital presence, whether it is infrastructure. So there are a lot of these things that learners could take and enhance by the end of the training, enhance themselves.
Great. It seems you have already given me the glimpse of my second question, because that walkthrough really brings the learner's experience to life. So my second question actually included about changes and returners and upskillers, which you have already shed light on. So I would rather move to my next question. And that really seems like a fascinating mix. So, Michael, how is the curriculum structured to balance technical training with employability skills?
That's a lovely question, like that. So curriculum is always focused on what is current. As I tell my learners, as I tell the students when we engage with them, and when I go into assess their their progression and stuff like that, I tell them to always be current, not redundant. And these domains that we bring to the table come with curriculum insights from employers in the market. So we have teams, our PR team and our mobilization team, and who interact with the sales team, who interact with employers, prospective employers, and they are always looking for insights as to what is current in the market and what are the expectations when it comes to these domains. So when it comes to an infrastructure domain, what are learners expected to bring to the table when they come for interviews? Whether it's technical, whether it's professional skills, what are the latest services that they've got to be aware of? And how does it relate with these niche technologies like AI? There's so much about AI today. There needs to be a very focused way of understanding and incorporating that into one's habits of, performance. And these are some of the ways in which we keep our curriculum current, curriculum focused on the market needs.
Absolutely. The integration of employability alongside technical depth is crucial, not just for the readiness, but for long term career resilience. It's important to understand that soft skills mustn't be treated as an afterthought. Thank you for that, Michael. My next question would be that what career pathways do graduates tend to follow? Are you seeing more traditional employment, freelancing, or entrepreneurial ventures?
That's the way it used to be. But the way we look at, today, or going into the future, or the current, the present, or even the very, very immediate past, you see there's so much of support for people to offer their own services, basically consulting for different kinds of services, and once again, infrastructure. No matter what happens in the job market, in organizations and other kinds of things, whatever um, you know so infrastructure is something that is always going to be there. And being an SME in infrastructure, being a solution architect, being somebody who brings performance optimization and pricing optimization to an organization in infrastructure, and of course, digital presence. So when we talk about software development, there we are talking about digital presence. We are talking about being able to market products with a portfolio online. What somebody would typically call a website. This could even go beyond a website to web applications, and to be able to bring data analytics into that, which so learners would get to learn stuff like this, to be current with these kind of things, and that opens up the possibility now that people would not just look for jobs, but would make a job for themselves. they would bring their own skills into the market as freelancers. They would see that, by themselves or maybe a small team of them together, they could actually, reach out to the market with service offerings. And then entrepreneurs get to understand how tech could actually transform their businesses. And now, either they would do it, or even if they don't want to do it, they would be quite aware of what somebody else would bring to them as a solution. So, it's not going to be something that they are not aware of and, look for solutions from outside. They pretty much know what they want. They know very well how or what would, enhance their business, the value. And these are the things they learn. And then, of course, now when it comes to aligning or assigning, contracts to others, they know what the others are expected to bring to the table here. So, knowledge is power. Knowledge is something that will always make you productive. So I'm looking at, going forward with the freelance and entrepreneurial opportunities here. Yes, Shaun, I can see your hand.
I hope you don't mind me coming in at this point, but
Sure.
it was fascinating listening to you, Michael. And this is unscripted, so but it is being recorded, so I'm on the record here. My own son is brings AI solutions. That's his business. He works for a business that delivers AI solutions to companies, and he tells me time and time again that knowledge is power, but if you're unable to persuade others and sell to others and convince others in terms they can understand of how the knowledge you have can change their business, then you're onto a loser. In other words, he said, what the real imperative right now in the UK economy, from his experience, is for individuals who have the technical skills, but also have the ability to communicate with the client. And this gets back to the point you were making earlier about interpersonal skills and personal skills. In the world of tech now, these, if you really want to make it, you've got to somehow discover the marriage between having a lot of knowledge, technical knowledge, and your ability to bring that to the market. And it's really about effective sales. It's quite a controversial statement I'm making, I know, to some, but the days of backroom coders and programmers, because of AI, are rapidly diminishing in a sense. And they used to use a term in the finance world of the masters of the universe. I hate that term, but the new masters, if you like, of advanced digital technologies will be those who have that confidence to communicate well with business clients. That's what we need. And so my son, to his credit, has been gifted with that confidence. And he's also got the technical knowledge. So he goes around to companies and says, what is your need? Oh, this is your need. I will come along with a solution that will and I will use language that you can understand. I just thought I'd mention that, Michael, because you were beginning to touch on that, I think, when you were talking.
Yes. Yes, Shaun. Yes, Shaun. Thank you for that. And how very right your son is. That is the way we are progressing today. I mean, as you say, the backroom coders, it's important to know coding because, as you know, AI could generate code. But what's the point if you don't know what you want? AI could give you something which is not really useful in the context of what you're trying to achieve. So, as you say, being able to convince, being able to know the context of what you are involved with, and to be able to understand needs, and then to come up with solutions, to come up with optimizations, and also to be able to offer long-term solutions. You wouldn't want to have a solution that is like a couple of weeks and then you're done with somebody. You try to increase that engagement. You try to incorporate a very good and a very happy customer so that the business would carry on. And this is something that is ongoing. Things change. Technology keeps improving at the drop of a hat. Every little while, you've got to update your phone. You've got to update your operating system, and these things happen. So somebody who could bring these ideas, these knowledge, this kind of a knowledge, or this to somebody who is using it or who could use it to enhance performance, to especially enhance pricing. So that is a very important thing here. So what are businesses looking for? They are looking for solutions with better pricing always, and then they are looking for something um, that does not cause any disruptions to the business, that moves smoothly, seamlessly. So when it comes to infrastructure, cybersecurity, and as we say, software solutions, user interface, user experience, all these kind of things, it's wonderful to have a whole lot of people aware of it, and then they could utilize it in whichever way they want, either as a freelancer, either as an entrepreneur who would like to expand or bring more value to the business, or somebody who's looking at the job market, always trying to find better opportunities. So that's where we are going today.
That's really encouraging. And this is what happens when you have got two brilliant brains onboarded. You have more fascinating discussion. Thank you for the contribution. So, Michael, coming on to my next last question from my end. For learners from non-tech backgrounds, what kind of bridging support or foundation tracks do you provide?
Learners from non-tech backgrounds, the first thing would be to orient them towards technology, right? To be able to understand the tools that we use. Technology isn't really such a challenge. If once you get into it, once you start using it, it's just toolkits, and then they begin to understand, not necessarily from a very deep level. Today, we have basically toolkits that do 50% of our work for us, but we've got to know to ask it what kind of work that we expect to be done. So orientation towards tech, that's something that is very important. We give confidence to this kind of set of people who would come into a training with high expectations, who are interested in exploring technology, and then we would give them support to learn the very basics of the domain we are talking about, to be able to look at it from a bird's eye point of view, to be able to identify the schema, the layout, the context, and technical terms, because that's where people get a little confused. But once you understood these technical terms and what they actually relate to, it's like understanding how to drive a car. I mean, you don't really need to know what goes on in the engine, but you've got to know that there is an engine which would deliver a some kind of output and things like that, and you begin to understand it that way. So our idea is to make technology friendly to non-technical people, to bring them in, adapt them towards the domain that they are looking at, and then slowly, as they get into it, to add value-added skills. So let's say for software development, they start learning about software, and they start learning about understanding how this thing works. Actually, they don't need to go in and start writing code or such a lot of code. They need to just understand the basic flow of instructions and other kinds of things. And then we need to give them ancillary skills like, collaboration, version management. Now, it sounds very technical, but it's basically, if you talk about GitHub and things like that, it becomes very simple now. You understand that when people work as a team, they collaborate on something which is, everybody brings different ideas, and then those ideas need to be incorporated, and then it could be reversed, and other kinds of things. So there are these other skills also that make this course interesting. So it's not just book work, or it's not just laboratory work, hands-on and practical examples. It's also about this teamwork and about understanding, version management history, and going backwards and forwards, an agile mindset or an agile methodology. So all these things add various skills, organizational skills, focus on something. So these are some of the things that we would love to focus our non-technical, as we say, non-technical learners who would become technical very quickly. And then they would be in sync with the others. So they do not feel uncomfortable after some time. And it becomes very interesting. Then there's lots of discussions which go on during sessions. We have these activities which encourage learners to talk among themselves, discussion forums. We have topics. We have the instructor or various instructors. Sometimes I also go into many of the sessions and throw them some challenging questions and scenarios and, business application oriented schemas. And we've got to get them to understand that whatever they learn, the technology that they are getting into, at the end of the day, is to enable businesses, either as an employee or as a consultant or the business itself. So that's the whole idea of technology upskilling.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This has been an incredibly stimulating and insightful discussion. Now, we would like to open the floor to our audience. This is your opportunity to share your questions. When asking, I kindly request all of you to please mention the name of the speaker you would like to question to be addressed to. So let's begin. It seems the first question has already been addressed here to you, Shaun.
I'm listening. Is it in the chat?
Yes, please. So it says that, hi, Adam here. And Shaun, I request you to please, can you tell once again about the fast-track digital skills acquisition and empowering business innovation that you made the point about? Could you please pull up the presentation, the PPT you had prepared?
Yeah, okay. Fast-track digital skills acquisition. Now, here's the traditional way that we've delivered education. You go to college, you go to school, you go to college, and you go to university. And you study your course or your program, undertake your program of learning. There's an awful lot of packaging around it, and there's quite a lot of time wasting. When the government, and it was the Conservative government, so it's been going now for several years, first thought about skills boot camps, they said, look, UK productivity is so challenging, we've got to get more higher skills in the pipeline. So we've got to make the learning environment and the learning process more user-friendly, and we've got to get it, we've got to accelerate it. So basically, that's what I mean by fast-track skills acquisition. So we commission an organization such as Prime Talent, who can deliver these intense courses over a small period of time to significantly boost the skill sets of individuals so they can get into these higher level skilled occupations much quicker than perhaps they would have done had they gone through the normal long drawn out, I'm not being disparaging, but the lengthy education process, which is a feature of our education system. That's all I really mean by fast track digital skills acquisition. We're not the experts in the Combined Authority, but Prime Talent is. They are equipped, as far as we're concerned, to actually compress learning, and it's very intense. They make no apology about that, and I make no apology about that. But compress that learning into an intense program that at the same time is inspiring. But to bear in mind too, and this isn't a sales pitch, but I don't know if the questioner is looking to career pivot or whatever, but this is at no cost to you as an individual, by the way, except time and commitment and energy. But the actual background cost to delivering these skills boot camps is free is not free. It is paid by the UK taxpayer, but to the learner, it is free. So we only want people on the Prime Talent, only want people on these skills boot camps who are willing to get onto that fast track and run pretty rapidly, if I can put it in those terms. In terms of powering business innovation, look, as I said before, companies are desperate some of them to stay afloat. Every good company obviously wants to grow and it wants to make a healthy profit to secure its future. The key is innovation. What do I mean by innovation? Well, it takes many shapes, it takes many forms, many ideas are inside people's heads and they're not out there yet. And through a skills bootcamp, we are hoping that individuals will think, and it was alluded to earlier in the presentation, there are many ideas that people carry, and we want, through the skills bootcamp program, for those ideas to be, if you like, incubated, ready to take back into the business if they've come from a business, the individual, or if they're looking for another route to take into a business setting. So the language, I don't apologize for the language. It's quite, I suppose, dramatic, but fast track, powering. These are two of the principles behind all skills boot camps, and they are particularly pertinent to those in advanced digital technologies. I'm afraid that's about the best I can do on that one.
I'm absolutely sure it was wonderful. And Adam would agree with me. So coming on to the next question, Shaun. Hi, thank you for your presentation. As of the Skills Boost, could the team help and support the SME in York with use of current technology such as machine learning, AI, and apply to their services?
Okay, can you run that question past me again? It's a little bit... Am I
clearly audible to you?
Here, difficult to hear. Okay, carry on again.
All right, let me repeat it. As of the Skills Boost, could the team help and support the SME in York with use of current technology such as machine learning, AI, and apply to their services?
Yeah, well, I mean, that company would not have a conversation with us. It would have a conversation with you. If this is an SME in York, we can't involve with the companies direct. So if that company wants to open up a dialogue with you, then you can say, well, look, we run these skills boot camps. This is how we could help you. In terms of the future, we have something called a growth hub, and we would encourage the SME concerned to contact the growth hub. It's all on the web. And to say, look, this is how we see the future shaping up. Can we have a dialogue with you? So we are open to ideas. I mean, I'm quite happy, Hector, not now, but if you wish to have a dialogue, first of all, with that company, and then I'm happy to make contact with that company outside of this meeting if you send me their email addresses. In terms of future skills boot camps, machine learning, artificial intelligence, absolutely. I mean, I find artificial intelligence, AI, I only use ChatGPT. There are other products, but I find it quite bewildering, but inspiring at the same time as a tool to assist me. So the application of AI in the workplace and higher level stuff such as machine learning, yeah, absolutely. The challenge, and I say this to the SME that's posed the question, the challenge is finding the providers that have got this skill set or the expertise and the knowledge, capability and the capacity to deliver that level of high level learning. Now, we know that Prime Talent has the capability and capacity to deliver cybersecurity, cloud computing, and software engineering. But for the areas that you've touched on, that would be another conversation. Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you, Shaun. It seems the next question is again directed to you, Shaun. So it says that a very insightful session. As a self-employed digital consultant in New York, I am curious, how have micro businesses without formal training budgets practically engaged with boot camps to fill skills gap affordably?
Well, if we're talking, right, they don't come to us, they come to you. You are the provider in York and North Yorkshire. So I would, again, encourage this company to have a conversation with you, because skills boot camps, when we design them, we have to go out and commission for the provision. We haven't got this sort of money that we can not throw at, but just invest in different companies. I wish we could. We have to follow a certain system. So if this company again has the conversation with you as the provider, you may be able to help them. If you can't, then if you signpost that company to me, ACTA, because as I said before, we don't deal necessarily directly with companies. We haven't got the resources to do that. If you signpost that company to me, I'll try and put them in touch with someone that may be able to help. We have applied to the central government for funding as a combined authority to set up a digital partnership, and we will be widely advertising for particularly SMEs to participate in that digital partnership. These are service providers of digital services and also companies where they want to effect a step change in the application of technology to transform their businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaun. And the next question is directed to Michael. So, Michael, it says that, hi, I am Leo, and I would like to ask Michael, when designing bootcamp pathways, how do you balance technical depth with accessibility for learners who may be transitioning from creative or service-based roles?
So, as we mentioned, thank you for that question, by the way, Leo. As we mentioned, orientation towards the context of that curriculum, that's the most important thing. So there would be focus on the core domain here, and as you say, there would be the additional value adds also that would come as part of the training, that would enable you to learn these additional things that are required, so that we try to keep a balance between your technical skills and the employability and the professional skills, and whatever else is required. We also talk to our learners for something that they would specifically need. So if a particular learner needs something specific, we allot a separate amount of time for that particular learner to be able to talk to a mentor, to talk to another instructor, so that they would get what they require. It might not be in line with everybody else. So, we go to that level. We have one-to-one conversations with our learners, and we try to adapt whatever their expectation is, and enable them to pick up whatever they want from that also.
Great. Coming on to the next question, Michael. It says that, hi, I am Meera, a freelance UX designer. How do you ensure bootcamp curriculum remain responsive to real-world enterprise needs, especially in fast-moving tech sector?
Thank you for that question, Meera. And yes, UX, user interface, user experience. So today we have, as you mentioned, responsive. When I assume you're talking about responsive to mobile design and different screen widths and the variety of resolutions and other things that go with the mobile devices when it comes to user experiences, user interfaces. Yeah, those are incorporated into the curriculum, and we go, as I mentioned earlier, we go with what is in the market requirement. Um, we do not just take generic topics and mash them together into a curriculum. So the curriculum is focused on what is expected of somebody who comes into that boot camp to have as an outcome. And we organize the topics, and there is a flow to the content. There is a flow to the laboratory work or the hands-on, the coding and other things that are involved in it. So specifically also when we come to user experiences and user interfaces, and then when we are talking about front end and back end integration, requests and response, client and server kind of interactions. So whatever is expected in the job market for somebody with that skill set to be aware of, like working with testing tools, being able to do things like test-driven development or behavior-driven development. We bring it all into the curriculum. There are many projects in between as part of the curriculum. There is a capstone project that learners would start working on. They would follow agile principles. There would be a design phase, optimization phase. Then there would be development and testing, integration. So what the learner would get here is an experience of actually working with a simulated environment. I would have to say a simulated environment, very much like the real-time production environment. So our intention is to make the learner aware of what they are getting into when they go out for a job. However, if they choose freelancing, they are literally working for themselves. So they again take these skills and they go out. And as Shaun had mentioned, they ask companies, what is your need? Or they advertise themselves or through digital presence, and that they provide these kind of solutions. They could build their own kind of digital presence, variety of digital presence that you could have. Um, Organizations which work with this, they could take the skill, they could take the entire experience that they go through here of understanding how larger companies work and incorporate it into their own companies. So the curriculum, as I said, is elastic here. And as I had mentioned in the earlier question, we are also open to learners bringing their own requirements, and then we could adapt that along the side so that it does not disrupt the regular curriculum, but we always have provision for somebody who wants to learn a little extra, somebody who brings something they've heard of, in the market, the latest trends, and would like to be aware of something like that. There's something called low code, no code. You're able to build web applications by dragging and dropping and all those kind of things. And somebody would like to probably know how that works. And yeah, we would take it separately with them, take it up with them. If they are, our instructors are always ready to help. If it's extra hours, probably at any point of time that the learners are available, not necessarily your regular hours. So we adapt in that way. Our intention is to give as much as possible during this learning phase, so that the outcomes will be achieved at any cost. We would try to go that extra mile here.
Great. Thank you, Michael. I would like to wrap up the questions here. And thank you for joining us today with invaluable inputs and insights. Shaun, we at Prime Talents sincerely thank you for generously sharing your time, knowledge, and valuable insights with us today.
Yeah, well,
you.
it's been a pleasure to be here. And even as you take part in these webinars, and you listen to questions and think, and you listen to the other presentations, and I'm already beginning to think, funds permitting, maybe in the near future, I would love, and I've got barriers, I've got hurdles to overcome to get this to happen, but I would love for there to be a skills bootcamp, which is an entrepreneurial skills bootcamp for those with recent tech acquisition and skills. So those they're teched up, they're tooled up technologically wise. So the next stage, let's tool them up to go out into the marketplace and really make an impact with persuasive ideas and engaging manner. It gets down to these are the simple principles, but they're very powerful to actually change an economy which is getting stuck. And I'll be on the record as saying that, and I don't sound like a politician, but in many ways is stuck, and we need to unstuck it. Anyway, I'll get off my little preaching high horse there, but thanks very much. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
And not at all. Thank you so much for your presence, for your attendance, everyone. So to our audience, we truly appreciate your engagement and curiosity. If you have further questions or thoughts, any kind of thoughts, and with respect to this session, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us at info@primetalent.com. We regret for the questions we couldn't address in the session. However, please feel free to email us and we will be sure to follow up. For more information about our work and upcoming initiatives, please visit www.primetalent.com. Once again, thank you for your attendance and we wish you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.